Hello Pokemon lovers and welcome to yet another episode of Rating All Pokemon. Today we have some dope Pokemon, and because we have so many dope Pokemon, I decided to ask one of my friends to help me out with one of them, but we'll get to that in a second. Today's Pokemon are dope. Literally all of them are my friends. I love them all. So let's just start because I am ready. We're starting out with number 422. Shellos. Now, Shellos is a small, tiny water slug Pokemon, and first of all, they are adorable. There are two different color variations, which are the West Sea and the East Sea variation. West Sea variation is the pink and white variation, which is my least favorite of the two, because I don't really like pink, but it's okay. There is also the East Sea variation to make everything better for me, which is the blue and green one. And I just think they are both absolutely adorable. I remember seeing Shellos for the first time in Diamond, or was it Pearl? I don't remember, but oh my gosh. I was like, what is this thing? I need one. So I got one, and it was my buddy forever. So Shellos and its evolution are examples of allopatric speciation, is the word. Which means that two of the same animals live in different locations, so they start making like they start having different traits. Usually they can't interbreed, I think, but these can. But yeah, I just like that there's two different sides. I used to always think that the blue one was the male one and the pink one was the female one, but that wasn't actually the case, which surprised me. Shellos is a bit of a weirdo. If you squeeze it too hard, purple liquid will ooze out of its skin, and that is creepy, but also entertaining to me. So in the anime, it shows that the West Sea Shellos can like extend its neck to very long lengths. Although we don't really know if the East Sea can do that too. I'm gonna assume it can because it's a slug. It's a slug. Slug can stretch, right? I don't know. So the reason West and East Sea Shellos are different is because in both seas there's different diets for the Shellos, so that's why their color changed and that's why they look so very different. This is a thing that actually happens with actual animals too. Cool. I already said that, but that's fine. Also, Pokemon Sun says, Shellos lives in the sea and feasts on plankton. The lovelier the ocean where the Shellos resides, the more vibrant its colors become. Love it. Here's a fun fact. Apparently both Shellos and its evolution were supposed to be released in Ruby and Sapphire, but they didn't have enough time to finish them, and they left it on the drawing board for the next generation. There are some really early back sprites for Shellos and its evolution that were taken out of the game data, but you know, they were never used, so very cool. So we could have had them earlier. Dang. Now, like I mentioned, Shellos is based on a sea slug, which are awesome creatures. Shellos is mostly based on the Chromodorus loci, which is a very cool looking sea slug. You can see it here. It's very cool looking. And its name comes from shell and the loss or lost, and that is referring to the lack of its shell. Lost shell. 5 out of 5. Now at level 30, Shellos evolves into Gastrodon. Now, you may or may not know, but one of my good friends from the Dex, in case you watch the Dex, is a big fan of Gastrodon, and I asked her to help me out here, so here comes Kelly telling you why Gastrodon is dope.
Oh, what? You're trying to figure out how cool Gastrodon is? Well, I got a couple tips. Number one, it comes in 2 colors, perfect for everyone and all of their color tastes. My particular favorite variation is the West Sea version, which I made a total charm of the head of it all by myself because I think it's cute. I didn't always think Gastrodon was super cute until I started actually using one. I needed a water ground type, and so it fits the build perfectly. It has Storm Drain, meaning it's totally immune to water type attacks and can steal water type attacks from another Pokemon that might be targeted by such a thing, like a fire Pokemon or a rock Pokemon or a ground type Pokemon. And not only that, it has this expression of pure blissful unawareness. It looks so dumb and so like vacant. And I don't know why, but like things that look dumb and vacant are just super cute to me. That's probably why I have the dog that I have. Number 4, I don't know, how many points have I made so far? Gastrodon at number 4 or 5 or 6 is a sea slug. I love sea slugs because 1, they're super squishy and cute, and 2, they come in so many cool different colors and varieties that they're like the fashionistas of the ocean. And also the champion of the Sinnoh region, Cynthia. I knew Cynthia's name, but I didn't remember the region that she was from. I was going to say from the Platinum region because that's the one that I played. But Cynthia, the champion, has a Garchomp and a Gastrodon. Gastrodon West Sea, to be precise, which is the best one. So check that.
Like Kelly mentioned, there are obviously 2 colors of Gastrodon as well. There are some slight differences in their appearance from their little helmet thing and their back. They have 3 eyes for some weird reason, and they're very cool. When they're threatened, it will like ooze its purple fluid that I mentioned before and just run away or glide away. What does it do? I don't know. Pokemon Sun says about the West Sea version, but doesn't really matter. It has strong regenerative capabilities. Even if parts of it are bitten off by fish Pokemon, it will return to normal within a few hours. Very cool. Very powerful. Like, how cool would it be if you get like, you slice your arm off and it will just grow back in a few hours? That would be dope. I love that. Well, like Kelly mentioned, it has this really dopey look, and that is what I like about it too. You may know that I really love dopey looking Pokemon. I love Slowpoke and I love Psyduck and things like that. And just Gastrodon just like charmed me in that first playthrough. I just remember evolving and I was like, what? What are you? Be my friend forever. So, Gastrodon is based on the sea slug as well, but most likely, specifically, the order Opistobranchia. And East Sea Gastrodon, because it looks a little bit different, is probably based on a sea hare, which is also cute. I love Gastrodon. I think it's super cool, so 5 out of 5, of course. What else am I gonna give it? Next up is Ambipom. Now, Ambipom is one of these Pokemon that I forgot about. Like, in Gen 4, they were like, let's give some random Pokemon new evolutions, because why not? And that's what Ambipom is. Now, Ambipom is the evolution of Apom, in case you hadn't realized. I need to sit differently. Yes, okay. Ambipom is a very fast Pokemon. It can use its weird tail hands to move from tree to tree really, really fast. It lives together with its young Apom, and I don't know, it's just a monkey with the big 2 tails and hands on them. Just like Apom, Ambipom doesn't really use its hands at all, so it means that it has like really weak, limpy hands. It doesn't say that, but I'm just gonna assume that because it doesn't use its hands. So, Ambipom has a prehensile tail, which is a tail that can do many things, like the monkeys that can flip their tails around the branches, stuff like that. That is what a prehensive tail does. It has 2 prehensive tails, actually. It's most likely based on the squirrel monkey by the way it looks. It also bears some resemblance to the Ahozotl, which is something I can't pronounce. It's a mythical Aztec creature that had monkey hands and a 5th human hand on its tail. Now, this creature was like disgusting. It like used to like to eat humans, but specifically human teeth and nails, fingernails. So, I don't really see it, but I get it because of the tail hand. Yes, sure. I give Ambipom a 3 out of 5. It is it's a forgettable Pokemon, isn't it? Well, it is to me, so. Next up is one of my other favorite Pokemon, number 425, Drifloon. Drifloon is a balloonish looking Pokemon. It also kind of resembles some type of jellyfish that has like really skinny tentacles. Drifloon is known as the signpost for wandering spirits. It's a ghost Pokemon and also a flying Pokemon, mainly ghost to me. It likes to abduct children. Stories go that it grabs the hands of small children and drags them away to the afterlife. It dislikes heavy children. Alright guys, overfeed your kids and they won't be abducted by Drifloon. Drifloon can be terrifying. It is created by the spirits of human and Pokemon, but it's most likely pretty sweet. It will be helpful and adorable. And these jellyfish I mentioned before are called comb jellies. It's mostly based on the Tentaculata comb jellyfish, which is the one I mentioned with looks like a balloon with 2 little tentacles. I love it. Its name obviously comes from drift and balloon. 5 out of 5. Hell yeah. At level 28, our buddy Drifloon evolves into Drifblim. Now Drifblim is fucking cool. I love Drifblim. I think it's fucking so cool. So Drifblim is strong enough to lift Pokemon and people, but it doesn't really have a sense of... It doesn't really have control over the way it flies, so it'll just like fly around a little bit and just be confused. It'll just end up wherever. It can steer its own like direction and height a little bit by using like the same technique as air balloons do, hot air balloons. Like with the type of gas inside its body, it can like changes its altitude. Drifblim is usually active during the night. It's a ghost Pokemon, so it doesn't really appear during the day. It floats around in big groups, and when it's noticed, it will just like fly away and no one knows where the heck they go. Honestly, the lore for this Pokemon is less terrifying than the one for Drifloon, strangely enough. You'd say that the evolution is more scary, but it's really not. The only thing I can tell you about Drifblim that is like a little bit weird is from Pokemon Sun, where it says, "There was once an incident in which a man took a trip riding a Drifblim, only to go missing." Now, Drifblim is obviously based on a hot air balloon, although strangely enough, its name comes from blimp. Now, blimps and hot air balloons aren't the same thing, guys. People often think so, but they really aren't. I mean, have you seen a blimp? Completely different. I'm just saying, remember that one episode in the anime? I'm drifting off. It had Jigglypuff in it, didn't it? The German name for Drifblim is pretty much the same, but it sounds funnier. It's Drifzeppeli. I cannot say German words. I keep saying them like fucking French. Drifzeppeli. Drifzeppeli. I don't know. I can't do German. I'm sorry. Which comes from Drift and Zeppelin. I give Drifblim a 5 out of 5 too. That was it for today, my beautiful children. I thank you so much for watching. I think you're all dope. Please, if you haven't, subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to check out the National Dex, where I also do some stuff sometimes. And that was it for today. I already said that. I keep repeating myself because I'm very bad at outros. That is now my thing, to say that I'm bad at outros at every video. And that is what it's gonna be. Please, in the comments, let me know who you think is cooler. West Sea Gastrodon and Shellos or East Sea Gastrodon and Shellos. There's only one right answer, which is East Sea. So, goodbye.